Okay, hello and welcome to this press conference. I have with me First Vice President Frans Timmermans and Migration and Home Affairs Commissioner Dimitris AVRAMOPOULOS here today to talk to you about the European Agenda on Security that was just presented by the European Commission. I give the floor first to the First Vice President.
Thank you very much, Natasha, and good afternoon to all of you. The Commission this morning decided on this security agenda. Dimitris and I were very proud to present it immediately to the European Parliament. What we want to do is to put Member States and institutions at the European level in a better position to work better together, to make sure that we deliver security for our citizens. This was part of the 10 priorities President Juncker announced at the outset, and this priority has gotten increased urgency through the terrible terrorist attacks we have seen in Paris and Copenhagen since. So the Commission was really adamant to deliver quickly on this, and it's a start. It is a proposition by the Commission to increase our cooperation. It is intended to make sure that agencies at a national level work better together, share more information. It is also our intention to improve external border protection. It is our intention also to improve the fight against fundamentalism. It is our intention to make sure that knowledge that is available is better shared around Europe. These are our general intentions. We want to find the nexus that needs to be found to attack a number of issues that are coming together and that threaten security in Europe. Cybercrime, terrorism, organised crime, they all interlink increasingly in Europe, and that has heightened the urgency of this agenda. No single member state can attack this problem on its own. We need to cooperate better together. The Commission is there at the disposal of member states and citizens to make this happen. Over to you, Dimitris.
Thank you, Frans. And not only thank you for what we did today, but also for this excellent cooperation we had during all these months in order to prepare the new European agenda on security. It is clear that the new and complex security threats that have emerged are increasingly cross-border and cross-sectorial in nature. To address in an effective way these threats, we need, first of all, to work together in order to ensure the security of European citizens and protect their rights and freedoms. EU citizens expect us to trust each other, to share information, and to work effectively together to coordinate concrete actions. So we must face all these threats together. And this is exactly where the European Union and the European Agenda on Security adds value. Joint actions, collaboration and sharing of information are the essence of the agenda. It is a shared agenda where everybody, the Member States, the Commission and the agencies, the Parliament, but also civil society and the private sector must play their respective role in order to ensure the security of our citizens. The agenda sets out the steps that are needed in order to strengthen our action in Europe's internal security, together with a number of key principles to guide our actions. Full compliance with fundamental rights, transparency, accountability and democratic control, better application and implementation of existing instruments before assessing whether additional tools are necessary, full use of EU agencies and all EU policies that contribute directly or indirectly to security, bringing together all internal and external dimensions of security with targeted coordination for example, to have a consistent EU approach for all future PNR requests from third countries. The agenda also offers a number of concrete actions that will turn these key principles into a practical reality. We will step up our work in countering radicalisation by setting up a centre of excellence to collect and disseminate expertise on anti-radicalisation, building upon the Radicalisation Awareness Network. We will update the framework decision on terrorism to provide a more coherent legal framework to deal with the foreign fighters phenomenon and to cooperate with third countries on this issue. We will somehow follow the money in order to cut the financing of criminals by improving cooperation between competent authorities in Europe, in particular national financial intelligence units, which will be connected to Europol. We will enhance our dialogue with the IT industry with the launch during this year of an EU forum with major IT companies to counter terrorist propaganda on the internet and in social media. We will strengthen the legal framework on firearms to address the illegal trafficking and reactivation of weapons, share more information and boost cooperation with third countries. We will reinforce our tools to fight cybercrime and identify ways to overcome obstacles to online criminal investigations. We will enhance the capacities of Europol, including through the creation of a European counter-terrorist centre to step up our support for Member States' actions to tackle the phenomenon of foreign terrorist fighters, terrorist financing, violent extremist content online and illicit trafficking of firearms. Finally, I would like to stress that this agenda is not just the response to the recent tragic events. We have started working on that from the very beginning of the life of this Commission. This agenda has been a priority for President Juncker and this Commission, and defines the Union's approach to internal security, which is based on our common values, including the rule of law and fundamental rights. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for a few questions. Christian, s'il te plaît.
Oui, Christian Spielmann de l'AFP. J'ai deux questions. La première, effectivement, une des choses que l'on remarque dans votre proposition, c'est la montée progressive en puissance d'Europol. En 2013, on lui a donné un centre pour la cybercriminalité, on l'a baptisé EC3, c'est très mignon, on dirait un petit robot. Aujourd'hui, vous annoncez qu'on va lui la doter d'un centre contre le terrorisme, mais on n'arrive toujours pas à avoir l'identité d'Europol. Les citoyens européens ne savent pas très bien ce que c'est, quels sont ses moyens, quels sont ses moyens humains, ses moyens financiers, est-ce qu'elle a un budget nécessaire pour mener toutes ces actions, et est-ce qu'elle a effectivement un pouvoir d'action. Qu'est-ce que c'est Europol? Est-ce que c'est le FBI de l'Union européenne, ou est-ce que c'est juste un centre d'échange d'informations, comme vous l'avez dit? Ma seconde question, j'ai admiré votre stoïcisme. Aujourd'hui, vous avez présenté, comme vous l'avez dit, M. Timmermans, une des 10 priorités de M. Juncker. Vous l'avez présenté devant un hémicycle quasiment vide. C'était extraordinaire de voir ces sièges vides. Et dans l'absence de la représentation du Conseil, je voudrais savoir ce que vous inspire comme réflexion le fait que les deux membres de l'exécutif soit absent et du législatif, par exemple, était absent pour cette présentation.
First of all, let me tell you that if I can express my vision for Europol, I would love to see Europol becoming a federal institution. It will take time. But building on Europol's experience of establishing the European Cybercrime Centre, is for me very important. At the same time, follow a similar model in addressing terrorism and ensure existing, because there are platforms and services are utilized to maximum effect in a coherent and joined up way. I fully agree with you, and this is our intention, to somehow increase the funding of Europol. But it's not only that. It's very important to put Europol in stronger and deeper cooperation, not only within Europe, but also with the relevant authorities out of Europe, in third countries. And that's what we said during the debate some minutes ago in the plenary. We have started working together with third countries, and by providing the necessary information, by sharing intelligent information, and by enhancing and promoting the role of Interpol, I believe we can use this tool we have in our hands in a more effective way in front of the challenges and the threats we are confronted with.
Sur la deuxième question, notre présentation a été accueillie par les porte-paroles des différents groupes.
Met with a response from
Ils
representatives
étaient
of the
tous
political
là.
groups.
Ils ont
They were
réagi,
all
une première
there. They
réaction.
reacted.
Et c'est ce que nous voulions en
Speakers
tant
on
que
behalf of
Commission.
political groups, and that's what
Le
we
travail ne
wanted.
termine pas ici.
Within the Commission, of course, the
Le
work
travail
doesn't stop
législatif
here. The legislative
continue
work will
sur les projets
continue
déjà en cours
on
et
projects
augmentera avec les
already in
projets
the
que nous
pipeline,
avons
and
annoncés
will
aujourd'hui.
increase, will go on
Et là, le Parlement
in
européen et
respect
le
of the projects
Conseil
we've announced
seront
today,
pleinement
and there,
engagés
European Parliament and
à
Council
résoudre
will
ces
be
problèmes
fully
avec nous.
involved when it comes to
J'ai
resolving
vu
these
les
issues together with
réactions,
us.
j'ai vu la participation
I saw
des
their
membres
reaction.
du Parlement européen.
We
Je m'en
saw
félicite
participation on the part of members of the
et
European
je suis
Parliament.
sûr
That's something I
qu'on aura un
welcome.
travail, un boulot
And
assez
I'm
chargé
sure that we will have
les
much to do
mois qui
together
viennent
in the months to
pour
come
assurer des décisions
in order to
par les deux institutions qui doivent décider sur
ensure that
la législation
the
sur la base de propositions très concrètes de la part de la Commission européenne.
can work together in implementing these specific decisions brought forward by the European Commission.
Merci beaucoup. C'est Griselda Pastor de la radio espagnole SER. Il m'a semblé que vous parliez d'un service contre le terrorisme européen. C'est quoi ça exactement? Est-ce que vous pourriez dire à quoi est-ce que vous pensez et en combien de temps vous croyez que ça c'est faisable?
What it is exactly, what's the nature of the beast, and when will it be up and running?
It will take time, but we coordinate right now all services within Europe. Let me tell you something. Security issues were always handled by the European Commission, but it's for the very first time we have decided to proceed towards a more comprehensive approach of security in general. In order to do that, we need the necessary tools and the necessary institutions. There are institutions, but as I said before, now we have a new European agenda on security. It has to do with the basic principles upon which we work, but also with a vision to put together all necessary tools and services and agencies. So we are working on that, and this is our objective.
Thank you. Oui.
A question for Mr. Timmermans. On a European level, it seems to have been Bethany Bell, BBC. On a European level, it seems to have been very quiet when it comes to the British general elections. Do you care, and do you think that the result can have an impact on the future of the European Union as a whole?
Well, first of all, I do care. I care a great deal. I follow it with great interest every day. But I'm fully aware that whatever I say today on substance will have an effect perhaps on the way that campaign is held in the United Kingdom. That is why I am very, very precise not to comment on anything that happens in the electoral campaign, but you can be assured that I follow it with the greatest of interest.
As do we all. Okay. Yes, please.
Maria Maggiore, Radio Popolare. Vous mettez beaucoup l'accent sur les rapports avec les pays tiers, comme d'ailleurs c'était dans les plans qui avaient été faits après l'accident de Lampedusa en 2013. Alors qu'on parle des pays qui sont en guerre, où c'est difficile de trouver un interlocuteur. Alors comment vous pensez faire ça? Est-ce que cela veut dire que vous allez commencer à dialoguer avec Bachar, par exemple, en Syrie?
You know that in Rome, 3 months ago, took place a very important meeting, the so-called Khartoum process. More than 50 countries were gathered around the table, and we tackled this issue. Among these countries, there are countries like Sudan, for example. It was Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, Jordan. It is true that there was no credible Libyan representation. But it was the very first time that third countries were engaged. Countries of origin, countries of transit, and countries of destination. And this happened for the first time. Now, all along, with Federica Mogherini, we work on that. And the engagement of these countries is almost assured. Of course, we have some political problems to face. What's going to happen in Libya, for instance? And I understand through your question that this is the major concern. But this will not prevent us from getting in contact with all these countries, in order to put also these countries in front of their responsibilities. How can you fight smuggling in an effective way if you do not approach the place where they are, and we know where they are? That's why we have started the campaign. 2 weeks ago I was in Morocco, and next week I will be in Jordan and Egypt, and then in Turkey and in Tunisia. So it is very important what we do right now. And I believe that at the end, with their cooperation, we shall manage to confront in an effective way this huge problem.
Thank you. We have time for one last question. I don't see any, so thank you very much.